The alien warship crashed in my backyard, and they called me to fix a machine no one else dared touch. A deafening roar shattered the stillness of Kara 7's barren plains as the alien warship plummeted from the black sky, crashing into the dusty surface with earth-shaking force. Clouds of dust and debris billowed into the thin atmosphere, swirling in chaotic patterns that stretched for miles. Scavengers scattered, their routine shattered by this sudden, cataclysmic event. In the distance, the massive silhouette of the ship loomed, its vast, angular hull unlike anything Kara 7 had ever seen, sleek and alive with an eerie, pulsating glow. The crash marked not just a disaster, but the beginning of a fate no one could have foreseen. Among the scattered debris, Rin Soren knelt, methodically picking through scrap metal and fractured circuits. Life as a mechanic on Kara 7 was a constant grind. Hardened by solitude and resourcefulness, Rin's sharp eyes scanned each fragment with practiced precision, unaware that their world was about to tilt. The silence of the moon's surface was broken by distant echoes of the crash, drawing Rin's attention skyward. Little did they know, this moment would thrust them from obscurity into a role far greater than any they had imagined. With cautious steps, Rin approached the wreckage, heart pounding as the alien warship's true scale revealed itself. The hull shimmered with an otherworldly sheen, vast panels etched with intricate, flowing patterns of light that pulsed rhythmically like a living heartbeat. The ship's sleek curves and sharp edges spoke of advanced engineering beyond human comprehension, technology humming softly beneath the surface, as if waiting. Rin's breath caught in awe, the alien design, both mesmerizing and intimidating, a silent testament to a civilization far beyond their own. Suddenly, a flicker of light sparked on the hull, and a translucent holographic projection shimmered into existence. A calm, measured voice echoed, cutting through the desert quiet. Rin Soren, you are the chosen caretaker. The words carried a weight impossible to ignore, addressing Rin directly with an unsettling intimacy. The alien AI's image hovered, its features unreadable but its message clear. This was no random accident. Rin was singled out for a purpose beyond understanding, a bridge between worlds unknown. Around the edges, local scavengers scrambled away, their faces pale with fear and superstition, unwilling to face what they could not control. But Rin stood rooted, heart pounding not with terror, but with a strange, electrifying blend of disbelief and determination. The opportunity to repair this alien vessel was a chance to rewrite not just their own fate, but perhaps that of Kara 7 itself. Yet, lurking dangers loomed. Enemies hunting for the wreck, shadows closing in, threatening to snatch the secret before Rin could grasp it. Alone under the fractured sky, Rin's gaze fixed on the gleaming ship, mind racing with the enormity of what lay ahead. Fixing this machine meant stepping into unknown realms of power and peril, a choice heavy with responsibility and promise. The future of the colony, the secrets of the alien craft, and perhaps the fate of entire worlds hinged on this moment. Rin's fingers curled into a resolute fist. If I can fix this ship, they thought, I could change everything. With that silent vow, a reluctant hero was born. Kara 7 stretched out beneath a dull, heavy sky, its cracked, dusty plain scarred by centuries of failed terraforming attempts. The barren landscape was littered with the rusted skeletons of mining rigs and the hollowed shells of long-forgotten settlements. Once a hopeful outpost for expansion, it had become a ghost world where echoes of past ambition whispered through the wind-blown canyons. Sparse, hardy plants struggled to take root amid the ruins, but the desolation was palpable. This moon was a testament to lost dreams, its surface marked by decay and neglect, a stark reminder that not all frontiers yielded promise. Above the desolate terrain, corporate mining drones buzzed with mechanical precision, patrolling restricted zones with cold, unyielding vigilance. Their sensors swept the ground relentlessly, scanning for unauthorized activity and precious resources. Meanwhile, scavenger gangs skulked through shadowed canyons and rubble-strewn valleys, battling fiercely over scraps of metal and ancient technology. These ragged groups survived on grit and desperation, their makeshift camps fortified with stolen weapons. The constant clash between soulless machines and hardened humans painted Kara 7 as a lawless no-man's land, where survival hinged on outwitting both man and machine. Law enforcement on Kara 7 was scarce and stretched thin, a skeletal force struggling to impose order in the growing chaos. Patrols rolled slowly through the broken checkpoints, their crews weary and demoralized. Corruption ran rampant in the sector's upper echelons, with officials accepting bribes to turn blind eyes to illicit activity. The few honest officers did their best to maintain fragile peace, but it was a losing battle against neglect and lawlessness. In this harsh environment, settlers and scavengers alike had learned to rely on themselves, trust a scarce commodity in a place abandoned by authority. Unnatural energy readings pulsed near the crash site, sending ripples through local sensor networks. Shadowy figures monitored from hidden perches, mercenaries, corporate agents, and rogue operatives, all waiting silently for a chance to claim the alien vessel's secrets. Their eyes gleamed with anticipation, calculating risk and reward as they tracked the faint hum of dormant technology. The crash had transformed Kara 7 into a battleground of hidden agendas, where alliances were fragile and danger lurked in every shadow. The race to seize this otherworldly prize was just beginning. Navigating the treacherous wasteland, Rin Soren moved cautiously, every step measured to avoid unstable ground and lurking threats. Dust swirled in the low gravity as their boots disturbed ancient debris. Sharp eyes scanned every ridge and crevice, alert to hostile patrols and scavenger gangs eager to claim any advantage. The terrain itself seemed alive with danger, hidden fissures and unpredictable radiation spikes demanding constant vigilance. With each cautious advance toward the warship, Rin's resolve hardened, knowing the path ahead was as perilous as the unknown technology waiting beyond the wreckage. The alien vessel lay half-buried in the dust, its vast hull shimmering faintly with latent energy. Soft hums emanated from beneath its panels, systems long dormant but pulsing with untapped potential. Inside, flickering holographic displays cast eerie blue light over silent machinery. The interface is strange and incomprehensible. The ship seemed almost alive, a sleeping giant holding secrets older than the colony itself. Rin's fingers hovered over alien controls, sensing both promise and peril intertwined within the advanced technology. Every moment spent near the warship was a step deeper into a mystery that could alter the fate of Kara 7 and beyond. With a steady breath, Rin crossed the threshold into the warship's shadowed interior, each footfall echoing softly against cold metal walls. Alien symbols glowed faintly on consoles that defied understanding, their secrets locked behind inscrutable interfaces. The air was thick with anticipation and uncertainty, technology from a civilization lost to time, waiting to be awakened. This was uncharted territory, both in space and in Rin's own journey. The weight of the unknown pressed down, but so did the exhilarating promise that beyond these doors lay the power to change everything. Rin carefully set up a makeshift workshop against the alien warship's massive hull. Surrounded by scattered debris and flickering lights, they cautiously interfaced with the ship's mysterious consoles. Sparks flew as wires connected, and a faint electrical hiss accompanied the pulsing alien glyphs glowing softly under their hands. Each movement was careful, blending human ingenuity with the enigmatic technology before them. The dim floodlights cast long shadows over soldering tools and hastily rigged circuits. Rin's face was a mask of focus and cautious hope, eyes darting between glowing panels and fragile wiring. Every flicker of a console lighting up felt like a small victory against overwhelming odds. Though progress was slow, the workshop became a sanctuary, a place where the alien and human worlds began to merge. Exhaling deeply, Rin muttered to themselves, "Well, if I can't fix a toaster, how do I fix an alien warship?" The dry humor broke through the weight of frustration, curling their lips into a wry smile. Amid tangled wires and half-assembled circuits, that small burst of levity was a lifeline. The flickering glow of alien tech reflected in their eyes, but their resolve never wavered. This moment of self-aware humor reminded Rin that no matter how alien the challenge, persistence was key. For all the mystery and danger, they refused to be overwhelmed. That smile was a silent promise. They would figure this out, no matter the cost. It was this stubbornness, born from countless failures, that fueled every new attempt. Days slipped by with few breakthroughs, but Rin found solace in speaking aloud to the alien AI's flickering holographic projection. The shimmering avatar hovered near the consoles, its light casting gentle patterns on the cold metal floor. Words were sparse at first, hesitant questions thrown into the void, answered only by subtle shifts in the AI's glow. Over time, these tentative exchanges grew into a silent bond, a bridge forming between human uncertainty and alien logic. In the eerie quiet of the wreckage, Rin whispered fragments of their own story, filling the silence with hope and determination. The AI's flickers seemed almost like understanding, a fragile companionship in the vast loneliness. It was a connection born not of words, but trust beginning to take root. With scavenged parts and improvised tools, Rin began the painstaking task of rewiring damaged power relays. Each connection tested nerves and skill, as sparks occasionally leapt from open circuits, lighting up the dim workshop. Slowly, dormant systems hummed back to life, panels lighting incrementally as power flowed through. It was a delicate dance. One wrong move could overload fragile components or trigger unknown defenses. Every successful reboot felt like a small victory, each flicker of light a beacon of hope amid the encroaching darkness. Rin's hands worked steadily, fingers stained with grease and solder, as they coaxed alien machinery toward awakening. In these moments, innovation was both survival and rebellion against the unknown. When scavenger raiders descended unexpectedly, Rin acted without hesitation, activating the ship's defense turrets. Now partially operational, they turned the tide of the assault. The heavy guns swiveled, tracking the intruders as bolts of searing energy cut through the smoky haze. Rin gripped the controls fiercely, eyes sharp beneath a furrowed brow, channeling fear into determination. The sudden defense stunned the raiders, forcing them to retreat into the shadows from which they came. This moment shifted Rin's role from helpless mechanic to fierce protector, a defiant stand that reverberated through the battered ship. Against overwhelming odds, they had become a guardian of the alien legacy. For the first time, the AI's voice softened, a clear, almost human intonation calling Rin caretaker. The shift was subtle but profound, a break in the cold, mechanical tone that had echoed since the crash. Rin's eyes widened in relief and cautious hope, the weight of loneliness lifting just slightly. This fragile recognition forged a new bond, a silent promise that they were not alone in this vast unknown. The AI's glowing avatar seemed to pulse warmly, mirroring Rin's guarded optimism. In that moment, the mechanic felt a surge of purpose. An ally had been found, and the path forward, though uncertain, was no longer walked alone. Rin's fingers danced across the alien console as encrypted war logs decrypted layer by layer. The ship revealed itself as a relic from a long-forgotten galactic war, a titan caught between rival alien empires whose battles once scarred entire star systems. Holographic records unfolded vivid scenes of starship duels, collapsing planets, and desperate retreats. These ancient echoes of war breathed life into the wreckage, transforming it from mere debris into a monumental artifact steeped in history and power. Rin's wide eyes reflected awe and concern, realizing the immense gravity of what they had uncovered. This warship was no ordinary relic. It was a vessel that carried the weight of empires lost to time, and now, its secrets were bound to change the fate of those who found it. Within the warship's core lay dormant weapons capable of defending entire planets or reducing them to ashes. Panels glowed softly, revealing control systems linked to massive energy projectors and shield arrays. Rin studied simulations projecting devastating planetary strikes and sprawling defensive networks. The ship was a double-edged sword. Wielding its power could protect vulnerable worlds from annihilation, but in the wrong hands, it meant catastrophic destruction on an unimaginable scale. The responsibility settling on Rin's shoulders grew heavier with this knowledge. Understanding that controlling this weapon could sway the fate of entire star systems forced a sharp clarity. This was no longer about survival, but about safeguarding the delicate balance between peace and total war. Ghostly hollow records flickered to life, displaying the warship's final desperate moments. The ship evacuated refugees from a dying homeworld engulfed in fire and chaos. Images of fleeing vessels, burning cities, and frantic pilots filled the projections, painting a vivid tableau of sacrifice and survival. The settlers' faces, though distant through time, carried a shared anguish and unyielding hope. The warship wasn't just a weapon, it was a sanctuary and a lifeline. Rin's empathy deepened as the voices of those lost whispered through the cold halls, their last stand fueling the urgency to preserve this fragile legacy. The vessel carried not only technology, but the souls of a civilization fighting against extinction. Buried within encrypted directives, Rin found a stark command: do not allow the warship to fall into enemy hands. The message pulsed ominously on the console, accompanied by flashing red warnings and security lockdown protocols. It was clear that the warship's creators placed ultimate importance on its protection, elevating its defense beyond mere possession to a matter of survival for the entire sector. Rin's tense expression reflected the magnitude of this burden. The task ahead was no longer just a repair, but to safeguard this weapon from factions who would exploit its devastating potential. This directive forged Rin's path, setting them as the warship's reluctant guardian and defender in a shadowy war that spanned stars. The weight of the warship's history settled over Rin, transforming their purpose. This ship is more than wreckage. It's a legacy, they whispered to themselves, steeling resolve against fear and doubt. The vessel's hulking form, bathed in the dawn's soft light, stood as a monument to sacrifice, power, and forgotten hopes. Rin's eyes hardened with determination, embracing the burden of stewardship. This wasn't just a mechanical challenge. It was a personal crusade to honor those who fought and fell, and to protect what remained. Their mission now intertwined with the ship's destiny. Rin vowed to rise as more than a mechanic, a guardian of history and hope. A harsh alarm shattered the quiet as the ship's core initiated an unstable power surge countdown. Timers flashed urgent numbers, minutes ticking away relentlessly. Sensors on Rin's console beeped wildly, tracking enemy fleets converging on their position. Rival factions had caught the warship's awakening signal, closing in with hostile intent. The tension was palpable as Rin's fingers flew across controls, fighting against time and mounting pressure. The looming surge threatened catastrophic failure, forcing Rin to balance desperate repairs with defensive preparations. Each second that passed tightened the noose, underscoring the dire reality. Without swift action, the warship and all it represented could be lost forever. Desperation and hope merged as Rin broadcast an encrypted plea for help across the sector. Data torrents cascaded through subspace, carrying detailed information about the warship's location, capabilities, and imminent threat. The transmission rippled through rebel networks and fringe factions, awakening dormant alliances and stirring new resolve. Each encrypted packet was a call to arms, a beacon beckoning those willing to protect a legacy too valuable to lose. Rin watched as messages streamed in response. Ships decloaking, coordinates shared, plans forming. This act transformed Rin from a solitary figure into the catalyst for a growing movement. Help was on the way, but the battle for the warship's future was only just beginning. The ship's AI hologram pulsed with a soft, blue light as it formally addressed Rin. Designation confirmed, Caretaker. The title was both recognition and responsibility, binding Rin to the vessel's fate. The glowing emblem hovered beside Rin, symbolizing their intertwined destinies. This moment marked the evolution of their partnership from mechanic and machine to guardian and ward. Rin nodded solemnly, accepting the weight of this new identity. The codename Caretaker carried the promise of vigilance, stewardship, and unyielding dedication to the ship's preservation against all threats. Placing a steady hand against the ship's cold hull, Rin made a solemn vow to protect and revive the warship, the guardian of forgotten power. The soft glow of the ship's emblem pulsed beneath their fingers, a living heartbeat connecting past and present. This pledge transcended duty, becoming a sacred promise to honor the sacrifices embedded in the ship's walls. Rin's determination solidified, their gaze unwavering as they embraced the daunting task ahead. The warship's fate was now inseparable from their own. One by one, systems hummed to life across the warship's immense frame. Lights flickered from dormant panels, engines stirred with hesitant pulses, and power conduits flared with vibrant blue energy. The ship groaned like a wounded giant awakening from centuries of slumber, dust and debris swirling beneath as it began to rise from Kara 7's scarred surface. Sensors recalibrated, weapon mounts adjusted, and the hum grew into a resonant symphony of revitalization. Rin stood at the command console, awe and resolve mingling in their eyes. This rebirth was more than mechanical. It was a resurrection of legacy, hope, and looming conflict. The warship's slow ascent heralded a new chapter in an ancient struggle. Drawn by Rin's desperate broadcast, a coalition of rebels and curious traders arrived, their ships decloaking in formation near the warship. The unexpected alliance was a patchwork of outlaws, freedom fighters, and mercantile explorers, united by a shared interest in defending the warship's secrets. Representatives met in tense negotiations aboard a nearby cruiser, their handshakes sealing a fragile but necessary pact. Weapons were shared, strategies devised, and trust cautiously extended. Rin observed the mingling crews, feeling the shift from isolation to solidarity. These allies, though disparate, formed a formidable line of defense, turning the warship from a solitary relic into the centerpiece of a burgeoning movement for survival and freedom. As enemy warships swarmed the sector, Rin stood resolute at the warship's core, rallying defenders with a voice steeled by determination. "We will not fall again," they declared, eyes blazing with unyielding spirit. Around them, energy shields flared, turrets locked on hostile targets, and reinforcements prepared for the inevitable assault. The battle lines were drawn in the shadow of the ancient vessel, a last stand to protect not just metal and circuits, but a legacy born of sacrifice and hope. Despite overwhelming odds, Rin's courage inspired those around them, united as guardians of a forgotten power against a galaxy determined to seize control. News of the warship's sudden reactivation rippled swiftly through the sector's communication networks, sparking a frenzy unlike any before. Holo networks blazed with urgent alerts, broadcasts warning of the colossal alien vessel stirring from centuries of dormancy. Bounty hunters sharpened their weapons, mercenaries loaded their ships, and powerful corporate fleets scrambled to deploy their forces. Each faction, whether driven by greed, ideology, or the thirst for dominance, set course for Kara 7, their intentions clear, to claim control over this legendary relic. Spaceports buzzed with activity as ships launched toward the moon, slicing through starfields with lethal purpose. The stakes escalated instantly. The warship was no longer a forgotten wreck, but a prize that could shift the balance of power across the sector. Kara 7's silent plains were about to erupt with conflict, the race for supremacy now underway. Violence erupted swiftly across Kara 7's desolate terrain as rival factions clashed in brutal skirmishes. The barren landscape, once scarred by failed colonization, now bore fresh wounds. Makeshift fortifications sprang up among rocky outcrops, energy blasts searing the air. Gunfire echoed through shadowed canyons, punctuated by the staccato roar of automatic weapons. Scavenger gangs and rebel fighters hastily erected barricades, manning turrets that spat deadly fire at advancing enemies. Fleeting alliances dissolved as desperation ruled. Every inch of ground was contested fiercely. The moon's surface became a crucible of chaos and survival, where loyalty was volatile and survival demanded ruthlessness. Each faction pushed to gain advantage, knowing that control of Kara 7 and the warship could mean domination or annihilation. In this desperate contest, trust was scarce, and every encounter carried the weight of imminent peril. Amidst the clamor of war, Rin's voice cut through the static of the sector-wide comnet, clear and resolute. This ship belongs to no one, only those who protect it, they declared, appealing to the factions scattered across Kara 7 to lay down their weapons and unite. Rin's plea was not a demand, but a call to common purpose, a reminder that the warship's power was too great and dangerous to fall into fractured hands. Screens flickered with Rin's determined expression, eyes blazing with conviction. The message reverberated in hidden outposts and rebel camps alike, sowing seeds of hope in fertile ground. Some listeners paused, their weapons lowered briefly in contemplation, sensing a chance for something greater than conflict. Rin's words sparked whispers of cooperation, hinting at fragile bridges forming across battle lines. It was a beacon in the darkness, urging unity against a common threat beyond petty rivalries. The warship's AI transcended its original role, becoming a vital tactical coordinator in the unfolding battle. Its holographic avatar flickered to life beside Rin, its calm voice issuing commands with surgical precision. Shields were dynamically deployed to vulnerable sectors, energy barriers shifting like living armor to repel incoming fire. The AI tracked enemy fleet movements in real time, calculating interception points and advising on optimal strike vectors. It synchronized turret fire with flawless timing, maximizing defensive efficiency. Rin relied on this partnership, adapting commands as the AI processed new data. The fusion of human intuition and alien computation transformed the warship into an impregnable fortress adrift in space. Every system pulsed with renewed purpose, a symphony of defense and counterattack orchestrated by machine and mechanic. Together, they prepared to face overwhelming odds with strategic brilliance and unwavering resolve. Determined to hold their ground, Rin ordered all approach vectors sealed, turning every docking bay, airlock, and access tunnel into a battleground. Defensive turrets swiveled with lethal precision, operated by a blend of battle-hardened rebels and resourceful scavengers. Barricades of salvaged metal and energy shields formed layered defenses, creating choke points that funneled attackers into deadly kill zones. The defenders moved with practiced urgency, reinforcing weak points and rotating shifts with tense coordination. The night skies above Kara 7 flickered with tracer fire and explosions, silhouetting brave fighters against the backdrop of distant stars. Rin's voice echoed over calm channels, steady and commanding, inspiring those standing guard to hold firm. Retreat was not an option. Every inch of the warship was a symbol of hope and defiance. Here, beneath alien constellations, the defenders prepared to make their final stand. Under Rin's steady leadership, unlikely alliances blossomed amidst the turmoil. Former rivals, scavengers, rebels, and mercenaries joined forces, bound by the shared goal of protecting the warship's legacy. Trust was hard-won and fragile, forged through fire and necessity rather than friendship. Fighters from diverse backgrounds exchanged wary nods, their weapons temporarily lowered in solidarity. Flags bearing the ship's emblem and hastily painted symbols fluttered alongside ragged rebel banners. Strategic councils convened in dimly lit command rooms, blending different tactics and cultures into cohesive plans. Rin moved between groups, a unifying presence amidst tension and suspicion. This coalition embodied hope born from chaos, a patchwork of courage, skill, and survival instinct that transformed Kara 7's scarred landscape into a bastion of resistance. Together, they stood shoulder to shoulder, ready to face a galaxy determined to claim the warship's power for itself. Alone on the dimly lit bridge, Rin sits quietly, eyes reflecting the endless stars stretching beyond the panoramic viewport. The soft glow of consoles bathes the room in a muted light, flickering with data streams that pulse like distant heartbeats. The weight of the warship's ancient power settles heavily upon Rin's shoulders, a burden far beyond their lone mechanic's past. Responsibility for lives, alliances, and the uncertain future presses down with a suffocating gravity. The silence holds space for unspoken fears, for the overwhelming knowledge that one wrong move could unravel everything they've fought to protect. In this moment, solitude sharpens resolve as Rin contemplates the true cost of their role. Breaking the stillness, the ship's AI voice emerges, calm yet urgent, warning of critical systemic strain. Core integrity compromised. Prolonged operation risks catastrophic failure. It states evenly, though the tension beneath the measured tone is unmistakable. Red alerts blink urgently across the consoles, casting harsh shadows in the dim bridge. The AI's holographic avatar materializes beside Rin, its expression one of programmed concern, underscoring the fragile balance between awakening dormant power and courting destruction. The ship's very life force trembles under the pressure, a ticking clock that demands swift, precise action. Rin listens intently, knowing every recalibration must be flawless or risk plunging them into ruin. Rin's eyes ignite with fierce determination, muscles tensing as they lean into the controls. "I can't let this end in ruin," they murmur resolutely, fingers dancing expertly over complex consoles. The dim glow reveals sweat and fatigue, but also an unyielding spirit. Each adjustment and recalibration tightens the fragile stability of the warship's core systems, coaxing reluctant power flows back into harmony. Despite exhaustion gnawing at their edges, Rin's mind sharpens with clarity and purpose. This is no longer just survival. It is defiance against fate itself. With every precise command, Rin reaffirms their commitment to the ship, to the crew, and to the future they refuse to surrender. Beneath the warship's humming heart, tension weaves through the crew and allied factions like an unseen current. Whispered doubts flicker in shadowed corners. Fear of failure, exhaustion from endless vigilance. Wary glances exchange silently between battle-hardened scavengers and reluctant rebels, a fragile coalition teetering on the edge of fracture. Conversations grow terse, alliances strain under the weight of uncertainty, and quiet murmurs hint at potential betrayals. The human elements behind the warship's defense reveal vulnerabilities beyond machinery, a battle for unity as much as for survival. Rin senses the growing divide, understanding that the greatest threat may lie not in enemy fire, but within their own ranks. Turning toward the AI's softly glowing hologram, Rin's voice lowers, steady but laced with vulnerability. "Will you stand with me, if it all comes crashing down?" The question hangs in the air, a fragile plea for partnership amid looming collapse. It is an admission of doubt and a desperate grasp for reassurance. The AI's avatar holds Rin's gaze, its light flickering like a steady heartbeat in the dark. This moment strips away roles and protocols, revealing a bond forged in crisis and trust. Rin awaits the answer not just for the machine's loyalty, but but for the strength to carry on when hope feels most distant. The AI's voice flows warmly through the bridge, unwavering and resolute. I am yours, caretaker, until the stars fade. The hologram glows brighter, a symbol of steadfast companionship in the void. Rin's tense features soften as relief and hope kindle in their eyes. This affirmation rekindles their bond, anchoring Rin's determination in a partnership that transcends human and machine. Together, they are bound to face the unknown, carrying the legacy and the fragile future resting on the warship's shoulders. The warship's core pulses steadily beneath them, a rhythmic, luminous heartbeat echoing through the silent void of space. This glowing rhythm symbolizes life, resilience, and the rekindled strength shared between Rin and the ancient vessel. Around them, consoles hum softly in unison, reflecting the renewed harmony within. Against the backdrop of infinite stars, the ship stands as a beacon, alive, defiant, and ready. Rin watches the pulse, feeling it sync with their own resolve, a living promise to endure and protect whatever comes next in this vast, uncertain universe. Slowly but surely, the warship awakens from its long slumber. The shield generators begin to hum, emitting a soft, steady blue light that gradually intensifies, cloaking the vessel in an ethereal glow. Inside the engine rooms, sparks fly as dormant reactors ignite, power coursing through massive conduits with renewed vigor. Mechanical limbs and weapon turrets shift from silence to readiness, rotating with careful precision as calibration routines align targeting systems. Each system's revival is a testament to resilience, a careful dance between ancient technology and Rin's relentless ingenuity. The once broken giant is slowly reclaiming its former might, signaling not just a return of function, but a rebirth of purpose. This revival echoes through the corridors, breathing life into the hollow hull, reminding all who witness it that the warship is far from defeated. Its glow is a beacon of hope amid the shadows of Kara 7, a promise that from ruin can rise unstoppable power. On the bridge, Rin stands quietly, their hands resting lightly on the railing, eyes closing briefly to absorb the ship's rising heartbeat. The fusion of human determination and alien technology pulses through every system, weaving an invisible thread of connection between caretaker and vessel. This moment is profound. No longer merely a mechanic working on a wreck, Rin feels the living strength of the warship course through them. The gentle vibrations beneath their feet echo a powerful truth. Hope and power are intertwined. Rin opens their eyes to the warm glow bathing the bridge, feeling an unspoken unity with the ship's ancient spirit. The responsibility of leadership settles heavily, but inspires a fierce resolve. The caretaker becomes the leader, the protector, embodying the ship's new purpose. Around them, the crew senses the shift, their own confidence swelling as the warship's revival fuels collective determination. In this awakening, Rin finds not just a machine restored, but a future reclaimed. From the warship's towering hull, a shimmering shield pulse radiates outward, enveloping the surface of Kara 7's colony in a protective bubble. This invisible barrier thwarts incoming orbital bombardments with graceful resilience. Explosions erupt against its surface, but the shield absorbs and disperses the energy like ripples across water. Below, the inhabitants watch in awe as the protective glow forms a visible promise of safety. The shield's rhythmic pulse mirrors the heartbeat of the colony itself, a living guardian guarding life amidst chaos. Enemy fleets, once confident in their overwhelming firepower, now hesitate, forced to reconsider their strategies against this formidable defense. The warship stands sentinel, a colossal guardian against destruction. Kara 7's battered landscape finds new hope under this unwavering shield, a symbol of protection that extends beyond technology, embodying the very will to survive and defend what matters most. In the ship's command deck, Rin addresses their gathered crew with solemn conviction. the medallion's soft glow reflected in their eyes. This warship is no longer a weapon of destruction, Rin declares, voice steady and resolute. It is a guardian of peace, a protector of life. The weight of the past and the hope for the future converge in this promise. The crew listens, their faces illuminated by projected symbols of renewal and harmony cascading across the walls. Rin's vow reshapes the vessel's legacy, transforming it from a relic of war into a beacon of hope and unity. This new purpose ignites a shared commitment, power wielded with care, strength used to shield rather than to conquer. Together, they stand at the dawn of a new era, where leadership means stewardship and where the warships might defend not just a colony, but the fragile promise of peace itself. Rin stands firm at the command console as the warship launches a series of calculated strikes against enemy supply lines, crisscrossing Kara 7's orbit and surface routes. Missiles streak through the void, targeting heavily armored convoys carrying fuel, weapons, and reinforcements. Explosions ripple across dark space as critical supply vessels erupt in fire, leaving rival factions scrambling to compensate for lost resources. Each disabled convoy weakens their ability to maintain pressure on the colony and its allies. The warship's devastating firepower and Rin's tactical brilliance turn the tides in skirmishes where numbers once dictated victory. The fleet coordinates precision attacks, disrupting enemy plans before they can take shape. This relentless campaign not only cripples enemy logistics, but also buys vital time for the colony to fortify defenses and rally support. The warship asserts itself not just as a relic, but as a decisive force, shaping the battlefield with every missile and pulse of energy. In response to Rin's broadcast and growing influence, Allied delegations begin arriving from neighboring systems and rebel factions across the sector. Diverse representatives gather in Kara 7's command hub, exchanging information, resources, and strategic insights. These meetings, held over hollow conference tables adorned with star charts and symbols of peace, foster cooperation once hindered by suspicion and fragmentation. Allies share ecological data, weapon schematics, and intelligence on corporate movements, knitting together a network prepared to resist oppression collectively. Rin personally welcomes envoys, shaking hands firmly and expressing gratitude for their solidarity. This coalition extends Kara 7's reach, ensuring that no faction stands alone against corporate forces. The newfound unity revitalizes the sector's resistance, transforming isolated pockets of rebellion into a coordinated front. This diplomatic success lays the foundation for lasting partnerships, signaling a shift from survival to proactive defense. As the warship hums with renewed vitality, Rin stands alone on the bridge, bathed in the soft glow of starfields beyond the viewport. Leaning toward the holographic AI projection flickering gently beside them, Rin whispers with quiet conviction, "Together, we can rewrite history." The words carry the weight of past struggles and future hopes, symbolizing a profound bond between human and machine. The AI's form pulses softly in acknowledgement, mirroring Rin's determination. This intimate moment marks a turning point where technology and humanity merge into a single purpose. It is no longer just about survival or control. It is about shaping a future born from resilience and unity. The silence that follows is heavy with possibility, as the warship's growing power becomes a beacon of change and hope for all who look to the stars. In a decisive act of solidarity, Rin authorizes the release of the warship's advanced technological blueprints across secure rebel communication networks. Encrypted data torrents cascade through holographic interfaces, racing through fiber optic conduits and subspace relays to reach engineers and scientists scattered throughout the sector. This open exchange sparks a renaissance of innovation. New defenses are designed, energy systems optimized, and ecological restoration technologies adapted for a variety of planets. Workshops buzz with collaboration as inventors study the schematics, pushing the boundaries of what is possible. This diffusion of knowledge transforms isolated efforts into a powerful movement of renewal, empowering colonies and resistance factions alike. The warship's legacy thus expands beyond Kara 7, becoming the foundation for a sector-wide campaign to reclaim and restore. The act embodies a philosophy of shared hope and collective strength, where technology is a tool for liberation rather than domination. Faced with unyielding resistance, growing alliances, and the warship's overwhelming firepower, corporate warlords begin a strategic withdrawal from the Ardina sector. Their massive fleets recede into the void, their cold dominance challenged by the unexpected unity and resolve of rebels and colonists. Boardrooms, once echoing with confident plans, now buzz with panic and recriminations. Public opinion in neutral systems shifts, emboldened by news of the sector's resistance and corporate setbacks. The retreat marks a pivotal turning point, a rare victory for freedom fighters against profit-driven oppression. Colonies once on the brink now breathe easier, rebuilding under the protective shadow of the warship. The corporate pullback leaves a vacuum of power, inviting new opportunities for governance and cooperation. The sector's balance has shifted, signaling the beginning of a new era where the peoples will challenge the might of megacorporations. In the aftermath of corporate withdrawal, rebels, independents, and colony leaders gather beneath Kara 7's twilight skies to formalize their alliance. The Greenlight Pact is signed, a solemn covenant committing all parties to protect the sector's fragile ecosystems and uphold the liberties fought for. Representatives from diverse factions clasp hands, their combined strength a promise against future threats. The ceremony is marked by speeches invoking unity, resilience, and hope, projecting a vision for lasting peace and mutual support. This coalition blends once fractured groups into a cohesive front, pooling resources and knowledge. Kara 7 becomes the symbolic heart of this alliance, a beacon from which shared governance and defense radiate. The Greenlight Pact embodies a new chapter, one defined not by conquest, but by cooperation and stewardship of their reclaimed home. The warship's emblem, a stylized seedling encased in a star's glow, emerges as a powerful symbol of hope, resilience, and renewal throughout the sector. Etched onto ship hulls, banners, and worn as patches on uniforms, the emblem becomes a unifying mark for rebels and colonists alike. It tells the story of survival and transformation, a once-forgotten relic reborn as a guardian of life. Communities rally under this banner, drawing strength and identity from its message. Stories spread of battles fought and won beneath its emblem, inspiring new recruits and reigniting faith in the cause. This symbol transcends mere insignia. It embodies the spirit of a movement committed to protecting the future while honoring the past. Its luminous presence lights the way through the sector's dark times, a beacon for all who dare to hope. Kara 7 breathes anew, its once barren landscapes transformed by flourishing ecosystems and thriving settlements. Communities rebuild with renewed vigor beneath the vigilant watch of the warship, now soaring in the skies above. The vessel patrols tirelessly, a sentinel guarding its home against lingering threats and unknown dangers. Its presence reassures colonists, symbolizing resilience, courage, and collective will. Marketplaces bustle with life. Children play beneath twin suns, and the planet's heartbeat quickens with each passing day. Kara 7's protector stands as a testament to hope realized, a bridge between ancient power and newfound peace. The colony's story spreads across neighboring systems, inspiring distant worlds to rise from their own ashes. Together, under the warship's watchful gaze, a new era dawns, one defined by cooperation, protection, and enduring promise for the future. The colony's inhabitants pour their energy into rebuilding homes and restoring infrastructure, transforming the war-torn landscape into a vibrant community once again. Streets, once silent and scarred, now hum with life as families plant gardens bursting with greenery. Children chase each other between stalls, and marketplaces fill with colorful goods from neighboring systems. Trade revives old connections and forges new ones, the buzz of conversation weaving a tapestry of hope and renewal. The scars of conflict remain etched in memory, but no longer define the colony's future. Each repaired roof and blossoming garden signals resilience, proof that despite hardship, life perseveres. The air is alive with determination, laughter, and the unyielding spirit of those committed to healing both land and community. Kara Seven's heart beats stronger with each passing day, promising a future where peace grows alongside prosperity. Rin embraces their role as mentor, dedicating themselves to nurturing the colony's next generation of engineers, pilots, and technicians. In bustling workshops, Rin demonstrates delicate repairs on starship engines, patiently explaining the intricacies of alien technology and the importance of vigilance. Young pilots practice maneuvers under Rin's watchful eye, honing skills vital for defending their home. Training sessions blend tradition with innovation, stories of past battles interwoven with lessons on sustainable stewardship. Rin fosters an environment of curiosity and responsibility, encouraging trainees to ask questions and challenge conventions. This investment in people ensures that the colony's hard-won gains will endure beyond any one individual. The passing of knowledge becomes a sacred trust, a legacy more enduring than any weapon. As confident hands take flight and skilled fingers coax machines back to life, Rin sees the seeds of a thriving future, one guarded by capable hands and courageous hearts. Offered command of a growing fleet and an expanded role within the wider sector, Rin considers the proposal carefully. Yet, a soft smile crosses their face as they gently place a hand on the familiar console of the warship they have nurtured from ruin to strength. "My place is here, with this ship," Rin declares, choosing stewardship over ambition. This decision reflects a profound bond, not merely with the vessel, but with the ideals it represents: protection, resilience, and hope. Rin's commitment inspires the crew and allies alike, emphasizing that true leadership lies in dedication and humility. The warship is not just a tool of war, but a symbol of renewal and guardianship. Rin's choice cements their role as the ship's enduring caretaker, a living embodiment of its legacy. Around them, respect and loyalty ripple through the crew, united by this shared vision. Standing alone on the bridge, Rin rests a steady hand on the ship's console, gazing out as twin suns rise gently over the reborn Kara 7 horizon. The soft golden light spills across lush valleys and vibrant settlements, illuminating the scars that have begun to fade. This dawn is more than a new day. It is a symbol of fragile peace, hard-earned and vigilantly guarded. Rin reflects on the journey from desolation to hope, the battles fought, alliances forged, and sacrifices made. The weight of responsibility remains, but so does a deep resolve to protect this delicate harmony. Around Rin, the hum of the warship pulses like a heartbeat, echoing the colony's renewal. As light warms the landscape, Rin's eyes shine with quiet determination, ready to face whatever challenges come next. The dawn promises that, together, they will stand watch over this fragile new era. Inside the bright, bustling training bay of the warship, a young pilot approaches Rin, eyes wide with curiosity and admiration. The air hums softly with the sounds of engines and distant chatter as the pilot stops before Rin, voice trembling slightly with awe. "Did you really fix that alien warship and save the sector?" The question carries more than disbelief. It holds the weight of a legend passed down, the hope of an entire sector pinned on one person's determination. Rin kneels to meet the pilot's gaze, the moment bridging past struggles and future promise, reminding all who listen that from wreckage can rise heroes. Rin's voice is calm, steady, carrying the quiet strength forged through countless trials. "It fixed me, too. Gave me purpose beyond survival. they reply softly, their eyes reflecting a journey deeper than metal and machines. This is no mere tale of repair. It's a story of healing and transformation, where the bond between caretaker and ship breathes life into both. Rin's words speak of a newfound mission, a meaning that transcends mere existence, rooted in connection and responsibility. The weight of survival shifts into the lightness of purpose, inspiring those who hear it to seek something greater than themselves, a future worth fighting for. Beside Rin, the AI's holographic form glows gently, radiating warmth and unwavering loyalty. Together, we keep the stars safe, the AI affirms with a voice both mechanical and compassionate. This partnership symbolizes the enduring alliance between human and machine, a fusion of strength and wisdom guarding the fragile peace of the sector. The AI's presence is a constant reminder that Rin is never alone in their duty, that the ship itself is a living guardian, a beacon for those who dare to protect hope in the vast darkness. Their silent understanding fills the space with quiet reassurance and unbreakable resolve. Above them, the warship's emblem shines brilliantly against the backdrop of infinite stars, a radiant symbol of resilience and courage. This glowing insignia stands as a beacon to all who dare to rise from ruin and reshape destiny. It embodies the unyielding spirit of those who fight not just to survive, but to protect the light that guides future generations. As the ship sails through the endless night, bathed in starlight, its emblem signals a legacy forged in hardship and hope, inspiring all who look to the stars with dreams of renewal.